Moving on now to streaming series recommendations. There were so many shows released last year on streaming, and because there's so much content to wade through, I thought it might be a good idea to give you some of my recommendations because this is what I watch a lot of. These are in no particular order, so I'm going to go by network. Starting with Netflix. The Sandman was released on August 22nd on Netflix, based on the legendary comic by Neil Gaiman. This was a series that had been in development forever. Several people had tried to make Sandman into a movie, but it never happened for one reason or another. The series finally came to Netflix, and I think this is probably the best form of these stories we're going to get. Because the series was so expensive to make, there was some doubt as to whether or not we'd get a season two, but it has been confirmed that the show will continue. Definitely worth checking out season one, and let's hope season two is as good. Next up, we got Wednesday, based on the Addams Family property. This popular series centers on the daughter of the Addams Family. I reviewed it for the blog. I called it Wednesday Addams Psychic Detective. It's like Nancy Drew meets Harry Potter. It's a lot of fun. Stranger Things Series 4. I think the fourth season of Stranger Things was stronger than the previous season. This season introduces some new characters and some new cool, scary adventures. Next season, they say it will be the final season. I'm definitely curious to see how this one ends. Then we got Umbrella Academy Season 3. The third season of Umbrella Academy continues the story from the previous series. I like the comics that this is based on. I mentioned it on a previous episode of the show that I was looking forward to this one, and I think it was worth the wait. Next up on HBO Max, we've previously mentioned that there have been a lot of changes with WB/Discovery, and as a result, many of the shows have been removed from the channel. So check these out while you can. Continuing in the realm of comic book properties, Peacemaker. I thought it was really solid. John Cena reprises his role from The Suicide Squad. The show comes to us from James Gunn, who directed The Suicide Squad and the Guardians of the Galaxy films. This show has some solid laughs and a really strong ensemble. Definitely one to watch. Then we have Barry Season 3. If you haven't seen Barry, definitely check it out from the beginning. Bill Hader has created a great show that he stars in as the main character and directs as well. It's darkly funny. It's sometimes tragic. There's some outstanding performances. There's talk of a Barry Season 4 coming out this year, which I think would be the last season. I'm not really sure where the story would go at this point, but I'll definitely watch it. Next up, we got Somebody Somewhere. This is a dramedy starring Bridget Everett. She plays a woman who goes back home to Kansas after losing her sister. She struggles to reconnect with her family and to fit in again, but she gradually sort of befriends these other misfits in the town and bonds with them. It's very funny, very touching, wonderful acting. Highly recommend it. Also on HBO Max, His Dark Materials is in its third season. This is an adaptation of the book by Philip Pullman. Now, this is the same book that the film The Golden Compass was based on. That was supposed to be a series of films, but they didn't move forward. So years later, this series came out on HBO, and it's good. It stars a bunch of great people. Daphne Keane is the lead. She was X-23 in Logan. The series also stars James McAvoy and Ruth Wilson. Great performances. I wasn't familiar with the books, but I really enjoyed it. On Apple TV is the series Severance, which I spoke about on the show last year. The first season was really good, and it looks like it's getting a season 2, so I'm really looking forward to that. On Amazon Prime is another comic book property, Paper Girls. This was a comic created by Brian K. Vaughan and Cliff Chang. The Paper Girls are a group of young girls who deliver papers in their small town in 1988. They find themselves traveling through time to 2019. It's really innovative. I really like the storytelling. According to Deadline, Amazon has decided not to pick it up for season 2, but I still think season 1 is worth watching. Also on Amazon is the sci-fi series The Peripheral, starring Chloe Grace Moretz. It's based on the novel by William Gibson. This one also involves time travel. Definitely gets some Matrix vibes from it. Moretz turns in a really strong performance, and the ensemble is also very good. Will this get a season 2? There's speculation, but we don't know for sure. Moving on to Hulu. Now, there are 2 strong reasons to keep your Hulu subscription. Only Murders in the Building and The Bear. Only Murders stars Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. It's a great murder mystery comedy. They've got some amazing guest stars on seasons 1 and 2, including Sting and Tina Fey. Steve Martin and Martin Short seem to be having their time of their lives in this one. Another reason to keep Hulu is The Bear. This is a new series starring Jeremy Allen White, who previously starred on Shameless. He plays an accomplished chef who comes back to Chicago and takes over his brother's restaurant after his brother passed away. The show has a really strong ensemble cast, and the kitchen scenes are so authentic you can practically smell them. It has a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, so critics love it, and audiences seem to love it as well. Lastly, on Disney Plus, we've got what is possibly my favorite series of the year, Light and Magic, which is the story of Industrial Light and Magic, the company that created the special effects for some of the biggest films in history. Star Wars, Indiana Jones, The Abyss, E.T., Jurassic Park, the list goes on and on. There have been other documentaries about ILM, but this one is the most up to date and certainly the most comprehensive. The people who worked on these films created history. So if you're a behind the scenes, special features, movie making nerd like me, you will love this one.